Hello, welcome to GottaBeReel movie reviews with Thommi and Jules, and right now we're doing the unbearable weight of massive talent. Now
I felt that.
Is that a long name or what, man?
Well, you know what? It's funny you even mentioned that because I'm like, when I first heard it, when you mentioned this, I'm like, okay, that's a long title, but at least it's not the lady in the house across the street from the girl around the corner or whatever the hell.
That is a parody or whatever.
Nor is it like extremely disgusting, vile. What the heck? There was not a Ted Bundy one. Why do y'all do that?
Yeah,
but I'm not even gonna go there.
That's super long, but
it was just stupid.
That's Netflix and that's movie theater.
Yes.
You're talking about apples and oranges. All
but
right.
Still.
I don't know
but
why
this wasn't even long. I think because of those two, I didn't even find this to be long. It's nice and simple. The unbearable weight of massive talent. I felt that.
Okay.
I feel it.
Okay.
All right, let's talk about it. It's rated R.
Okay. All right, so it stars Nicolas Cage as a fictionalized version of himself.
Okay.
He kind of out Nicolas Cage's himself.
Wasn't that like CGI? Kind of like when, was it Gemini Man? Where they did Will Smith's younger version?
First of all, you're confusing people because I didn't say that. But secondly, I didn't say that. I said as a fictionalized version of himself. And I didn't realize he was going to be playing his younger self as well. That's what I'm talking about. That's what she's talking about. But they might not have seen the movie yet, and you just went into that.
No, it just says a fictionalized version of himself.
Yeah, because he's also playing himself.
All right, look, Nick Cage is doubling as himself.
Yes.
His other version, look, it's ain't no secret. It's a younger version of him, just like Will Smith did in Gemini.
I didn't know when I went to the movies, though.
And it's a CGI, and most of the time it looks good, but then there were a couple parts where it looked a little wonky.
Yes, but he's playing himself, but he also sometimes talks to a younger version of himself.
Which is imaginary.
That's the CGI version that she is referring to.
Yes. And it's funny, but
I didn't know that was going to be like that from the trailers.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know. I mean, there was a CGI. I didn't realize it, but no, I did. I mean, that's what the movie is about. He's got this imaginary character. But anyway, when
it's not all just about that. He just happens to talk to himself.
Yeah, I think he may. Well, I don't know. Maybe he really is seeing his younger version of himself. I don't know. But they were both wired. I think his younger version was more wired than actual Nick Cage. He was off the hook. The dude, yeah, he was kind of abusive too. But anyway, let's talk about the rest of the cast here. Okay, so we got Pedro Pascal. Let's go.
Sharon Horgan, Ike Barinholtz, Alessandra Mastronardi, Jacob Scipio, Neil Patrick Harris.
We just say NPH, okay? Just so you know. Us fans, we just call him NPH.
Then you should have just wrote NPH instead of writing out his whole name.
No, because you'd have been like, who's NPH?
How do you know? I review movies too.
Do you know why we call him NPH? You know where that started from? Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. One of my favorite stupid movies, by the way. Cheesy movies. I won't call it. It's cheesy. We call it NPH, okay? Just respect his gangster, okay? Then we got Tiffany Haddish.
It was unnecessary.
Yes, no, it was totally necessary. Let me tell you this. You know I'm not a Tiffany Haddish fan, right? I liked her in this movie. I'm admitting it.
I didn't know you weren't a Tiffany Haddish fan.
Oh, God, are you, girl? You don't remember the movies we reviewed before, and I always said I do not like her. No, I've said it many times. Anyways, I liked her in here, and I'm happy about that. She was funny in here.
I liked her better in here too, because after Girls Trip, it's just like
that was the first one I didn't start not liking her.
She just kind of was too much sometimes.
That's what my exact.
I'm sorry, Tiffany. I think that you're a wonderful human being.
I don't like the extra ratchetness. I'm sorry. I get it. She's a comedian. She's a comedian. She's an actress. I get it, and that's what obviously makes her. We know. You say Tiffany Haddish, you're gonna think about Girls Trip and other stuff she's done. I'm not saying I've never liked her. I just not a fan of her.
I'm not saying ratchetness. I'm just saying sometimes she's almost. But then Nicolas Cage, sometimes he's too Nicolas Cage. Like he overacts like what he feels like people see him as. Sometimes I feel like that same way with Tiffany Haddish. But I'm not saying ratchet. She
has a particular persona, and it's very. You expect her to do that, girlfriend, and all that stuff. I'm not a fan of that. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But like I said, that's her. That's what makes her. But I liked her in here because she was really funny. And you know what else is funny? Before we even talk about the plot of it, during a conversation you'll see in the movie, she asked her partner, because they're these CIA agents or whatever, they work for the government. She asked him, they're talking about something. She said, "You didn't see Crudes too?" Okay, that's it. hold on, I'm not going to call it a cartoon because she gets mad. We're going to call it an animated feature, right?
Yeah.
So she's asking her partner, you didn't see Croods 2? He's like I'm a grown man. Why would I see Croods 2?
I know. I thought about you during that part.
Good, because I've
seen Croods 2. Croods 2 was good. Okay?
You've seen them both? I'm sure you did.
I have.
But I
agreed.
And you were Tiffany.
I agree with Tiffany.
I agree with him. Why would I, a grown woman, I'm not going to go there with you. I'm not going to start that conversation, but it was hilarious because you are the first person I thought about when they had that exchange. I was like, oh, that's Jules. Yeah, that's me. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit more detail about what this is actually about.
She's missing out on half the movies in her life. Okay, the plot per Wikipedia. Hollywood actor Nicolas Cage is struggling with his career after being passed over for several major film roles and is consistently pestered and tormented by Nikki, who appears to him as his younger and more successful self.
And he's very full of it. He's full of himself, but I guess he's saying, you know what? I'm the ish, so I can do that. It's how.
Because remember, that's when he was in all those movies. I mean,
he's been in a ton of movies.
Fire back then when he was younger. I mean, he's still popular, he was like, you know, The Rock and the Con Air and all the stuff.
Ooh, Face Off.
Face Off.
Ooh, I love me some Face Off.
Following an embarrassing and humiliating event at Addie's birthday party and losing a key film role, Cage plans to retire from acting. He decides to accept a vague offer of $1 million from his agent, Richard Fink, that involves going to Mallorca to meet billionaire playboy Javi Gutierrez and to be the guest of honor at his birthday. However, he unwittingly falls into an unprecedented catastrophe involving the cartel.
So it's like he's pushing like these directors, hire me. Yeah. I'm great. Let me read for you. And they're like, dude.
The one time the dude was like, you got the role. You don't have to read for me. No, you don't. I don't have to read for you. I got it. And then all of a sudden the dude's like trying to leave.
I don't remember him saying you got the role. I remember him saying, I don't need you to read. And he was like, okay. Yes, I am. Come here. Listen to this. I'm going to do it anyway.
And then he lost the role because
he did that.
He was just too outrageous.
And it's funny because Nicolas Cage in this movie, we've seen him be like, pow, with the dialogue, just energy through the roof. And it was refreshing. First of all, this movie is really funny. I really got a great comic relief. You know, I just watched the Fantastic Beasts and Doctor Strange, but the last 3 movies I've seen Nicolas Cage in, the reason why this was so refreshing, his roles on the previous movies were really either dark, like if you've seen Willy's Wonderland, freaking love that movie. Yeah. He didn't speak one word in there. You have to be a fantastic actor to pull something like that off, even if it was only 30 minutes. The guy is skilled, okay?
Yeah.
Then I seen Pig, which was, I didn't think I was going to like the movie, but it was pretty cool. It was about, he had a truffle pig. And I don't know if you're aware of truffles, but they're hard to find. They're hard to grow. They're very expensive. If you go to like a 5-star restaurants, they're going to have truffle, mashed potatoes, or bread or whatnot. Anyways, he has this truffle pig, and it's his. The pig is like his baby. And the pig gets kidnapped, and that's what the movie is about. And it was actually pretty good. I was like, I'm surprised I like this. And then he did some other weird, crazy movie that I still don't understand what it was about. So everything I've seen Nicolas Cage in probably in the last 2 or 3 years has been pretty serious tone. And here he's funny, and his energy is just pow through the whole movie. And then when this younger role comes in, this dude is like extra cocky and reminding him, don't you know you are Nick Cage? Or blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. So when he's with this guy who they call Javi, that guy's very handsome, by the way, I really like him, who plays this role of Javi. So he's going into this, I'm not going to tell you everything, but anyways, the guy Javi loves Nicolas Cage. And every time somebody sees him in there, they're like, it's Nicolas Cage. So it's cool how he is actually playing himself, Nicolas Cage.
And they talk about the movies that they like from him.
Yes.
Like Face Off. I love you in Face Off.
And I was sitting there like, yes. It was funny. Yeah. Like he has an ex-wife in here who they're still cool, and they got a teenage daughter who's she wants to connect with her dad, but she's thinking the only thing he ever wants to talk about is movies, and he's not really interested in my life, and I really need a dad, and all of that is intertwined in here, and it's pretty sweet, but the movie is very funny. Tiffany Haddish had me cracking up. Mm-hmm. And I was really just so happy that I actually genuinely liked her, didn't have to force myself into it. But this is a funny role for her, and the guy who played her partner as well. I think they were like yin and yang. It looked like they had so much fun on that set.
Yeah, it did.
And it was funny. So when you mentioned this, because I hadn't seen the previews for it yet, when I said, okay, it's Nick Cage, I don't think I've Well, there's that one movie I see with Nick Cage that I didn't like and didn't make sense. But something Incidents in Ghostland is what it was called. And that movie sent me down a rabbit hole worse than the movie Mother did. I don't know what it was about. I looked it up. I thought, well, maybe there's some kind of maybe Chinese folklore, underlying. No, it wasn't. It was just extremely bizarre, and I don't get any of it. But anyway, okay. I love most Nick Cage movies, and I'm thinking probably him and Samuel L. Jackson probably have a close race going with who's done the most movies. They probably do,
now that I think about it. Yes. Nick Cage has been in a lot of stuff.
Forever. And he's a fantastic actor. He's very multifaceted.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed this one. I don't recall any extra scenes. Am I incorrect?
I don't think there were either.
No, I don't think it required any. There's not going to be a part 2 of this. But it was fun. It was very fun for me to watch. I didn't have to go all deep and think about stuff.
True.
And then we had some, this is actually pretty funny. We got some kind of not necessarily trivia, but some fun facts here. So Nicolas Cage actually turned this role down 3 or 4 times, which is kind of ironic. I didn't know that. Because the movie is about him trying to get roles and him being turned down.
Right.
But for you to turn something down 3 to 4 times, and then the writer-director named Tom Gormican wrote him a letter personally. He really wanted Nick Cage for this role. And I don't think he went wrong.
Yeah.
I think he did. But for somebody to want you like that, you are a bomb. Okay, so he finally decided he was going to go ahead and do it. So Lionsgate ended up getting the rights to it in 2019. Pedro Pascal, who plays Javi, he entered into negotiations at that point. And then it was after that, about September 2020 is when Tiffany Haddish joined the cast as well as Lily Sheen as well. Now, when I say NPH, Neil Patrick Harris is who we're talking about, who's his agent, right? No, we know him from long when he first started as Doogie Howser.
Yeah.
And he's been acting ever since. And he's in one of my favorite cheesy movies, Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. And he is such a horn dog. And he does the best roles, and I think he is so funny, and I just love seeing NPH in movies. And I think they have him and his husband have a kid. I know they have one kid, if I'm not mistaken. They have 2 now. Okay. Mm-hmm. He ages very well, does he?
Yeah, he does.
He still looks really young, but he's freaking hilarious, and I love you, NPH.
I thought this was pretty good. It was pretty funny. Mm-hmm. There was lots of action. Yes. I thought that the CGI of Nick Cage's younger self, it was kind of like Gemini Man, and it was kind of creepy. Maybe worse than Gemini Man, actually. It kind of was off-putting because I didn't expect that when I went to see this movie. And I'm like, ooh, well, what?
It's weird looking at that face.
It was weird looking. It was weird. It was not the best, but...
And you know what? It matched his attitude, though, because he's like, this town doesn't freaking know talent. And it's like, dude, you feeling yourself a whole lot. You might need to calm it down. But then here come young Nicky. Let him know. No,
but you have action, you have comedy, you have romance.
Yep.
You have pretty much everything in this movie.
It is. And where they made it rated R just because of some of the content, language, little bit of the violence. But it's mostly action, comedy, romance.
I saw this with my son and his friend. And
did he like it?
There's, like they said, the cartel. And you're trying to figure out, if Javi is a bad guy or not.
Yes.
And my son figured it out within the first few. Yeah, he figured it out.
It took me a minute because
he leaned over to me. He told me.
He told
blah,
you
blah, blah. And I was like, well, crap. I was just trying to just enjoy the movie and not try to figure it out. I mean, I probably could have figured it out.
It took me a while.
Oh, no, he knew right off top. He told me.
And I was looking at this because when you say cartel, I'm thinking about, the Mexican cartel. So I'm like, okay, this is filmed in Mexico. But then I see them in the streets. I'm like, what? That does not look like Mexico. And then when I looked it up, I believe it's Spain.
Yeah.
So okay, now that makes sense. But that really threw me off because I'm used to seeing everything cartel is usually filmed in Mexico. By the way, they also have those tax credits. So people like filming in Mexico as well, which we're trying to get here in Arizona. But that's a whole other story. But anyway, for this one, I'm going to go with a 3. And it's a strong 3 because it was funny. And you know what? With the past month that I've been having, I needed some comedy.
Yeah.
I just needed something just to sit back, crack up, and laughing.
Yeah.
And when this comes out on Redbox or TV, I will absolutely watch it again. It was just funny.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would watch it again. I'm going to also give it a strong 3. Mm-hmm. Because, it was enjoyable. Like I said, it had action, comedy, humor. It was enjoyable to watch. The CGI was kind of creepy.
Little father-daughter stuff. It dabbled in everything, and it did it very neatly. Yeah. It wasn't all wonky and convoluted. It was just nice fun. Sit back, kick, and watch.
If there was a little bit, to be honest, the FBI part, which is, as you know from the trailer, Tiffany Haddish part.
It was unrealistic.
It was
very much.
It was kind of dumb, but
but we know
they threw it
never would CIA or whoever the government just pick an actor to jump in on their stuff with no kind of training.
It's almost like they just kind of threw that in just to throw those two actors in.
I'm glad they did
comedy relief, but
it was funny.
Yeah,
it was cool. I liked the whole time. Like, there's no way, but of course. I just like to lose myself in a fantasy because most movies are going to have some stuff that is pretty much not realistic, but that's why I go. I go to escape reality and to clear my head. And I needed this so bad, and I just love me some Nicolas Cage.
Well, I'm glad that you had it. On behalf of the film industry and myself, we are all glad that you had that relief.
And just so you know, I want this to be on record. I was going to go see the animated feature Bad Guys.
I was gonna go see it too. It's been a busy week.
Okay. I was gonna go see it though, because she always says, "I don't see these."
You should have seen. You should have seen it.
But there's another one coming out with Kevin Hart and The Rock called something about pets of something. Anyways, it looks freaking hilarious, and I promise you, I'm gonna see it.
Okay.
When you see it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna see the next one too, whatever you want.
Okay.
Because I owe you.
All right.
All right. So there you go. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, with the phenomenal Nicolas Cage playing Nicolas Cage, who's also playing his younger self of Nicolas Cage.
Or Nikki.
Nikki. Oh, yeah, Nikki. Anyways, go ahead and see this. Let's say go ahead and matinee it. It's just a fun movie to watch. You'll be fine, even if you take your family. Just know, there's some guns and stuff in there, but there's nothing, awful.
If you're a huge Nicolas Cage fan, you might want to pay full price, and you might not feel too bad about it. It was enjoyable, but if you're frugal such as ourselves,
I just go to matinee.
I'm gonna say matinee.
Yeah. And plus, there's less people there, especially through the week. So, but go ahead and check it out. It was a funny movie, and I like Tiffany Haddish in there, and I matched her. All right. Well, thank you very much for tuning in to our review of The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Don't forget, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Instagram. Tell us what you want to see. You can comment on our post. You can inbox us. Let us know. We'll shout you out on the show. And then also, if you want to make a donation to us, we're right here. Cash App. GottaBeReel. All right? We appreciate you watching. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.